Hey, Jeff, I know it was the first day, but what have you been able to see among the quarterbacks in the walkthroughs and that sort of thing, and just the time where you have been able to talk with them and meet with them, and kind of what did you see today?
Yeah, I think what I saw today is guys that have, you know, for the last several weeks have spent a lot of time in this building and understanding how important it was to mentally get ready for this day. And then today they went out and got a ton of work to do. We got a lot of work done, but did a great job of having command of the offense and going fast and doing the things we want them to do.
Go ahead, Nate.
Coach Kiffin. Coach Kiffin said it was kind of a two-man battle there, I guess, with splitting first-team reps with John Rice and Matt Corral. What is it? Is it a two-man battle? How are those other guys kind of incorporating into there?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you look at both those guys and the thing they have is experience. We'll continue to talk about that a ton, but you've got to live that. And so with that, those guys are ahead of the game a little bit because they have played. But at the same time, we're going to be as good as the weakest one in the room. So we're trying to stress as much as possible everybody in the room, understanding that when their number's called, they need to be ready to play. And what we'll look for out of those guys that are playing is great production and moving the ball and scoring points and taking care of the ball.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
With those two guys being so different stylistically, are you guys designing two different offenses to suit both options at quarterback, or is there just kind of one sort of scheme that you're trying to evaluate who fits best into?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we got to ask players to do what they can do. So we've got to find that balance and that mix of both of those things, making sure we're putting guys in positions of success because that's our job, and at the same time understanding that hey, we've got an identity that we are going to be who we are and do the things we do. So I think it's a fine line balance for both of those things as we move forward.
All right, David.
Yeah, Jeff. As was pointed out, these guys have different skill sets and can do different things. Is there a possibility that you guys ultimately decide on going with a two quarterback system, and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we got so much time between now and the first time that we tee it up. So I think as we move forward, we'll make those decisions. I think everybody at the end of the day wants to operate where you've got one QB and he's got command of the offense and you know exactly what you're getting before you snap the ball each and every snap. And so that's where you want to get to, but there's some circumstances where that's just not realistic because both guys have done such a good job that you got to make sure both are on the field. So a lot of time to get those things figured out and get them answered, but we're obviously not going to be closed-minded to anything. We're going to find a way to move the ball and score points.
All right, Nate.
On the receiver front, I mean, Elijah's kind of the established guy, and after him, it's kind of an open field. Who's kind of stood out at receiver over the course of the last few months?
Yeah, I think guys that have done a really good job. Mingo's done a great job of working every single day and being in the building and spending time, and it's been incredibly important to him. So he's done a good job. And then there's 6 or 7 other guys, and I don't want to leave anybody off, but are just battling and competing and trying to fight their way into those, first 6 or 7 guys that are going to be on the grass when we start playing every Saturday. So as a room, as a whole, we've got to find a way to create depth. It's incredibly important the way we're going to play with our tempo and our speed. So we need all those guys to continue to come. Elijah's done a great job of leading that group. We're going to need that moving forward.
How many of those guys could you expect to see the field in week 1?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to play a bunch of plays. We're going to try to dictate how the game's played. So we want to make sure we got 7 to 8 guys that are ready to get out there. And same thing I was talking about with the quarterback position. Regardless of who's on the field, we anticipate to produce and to make plays out there as well.
Nick, go ahead.
Jeff, you alluded to wanting to have a specific identity that you pursue with this offense. Can you kind of talk us through what you see that being?
Yeah, we talk about it as a unit, and we always talk about being fast, fearless, and physical. So we're going to play with great tempo. We're going to push the tempo. We'll dictate how the game's being played. That's what we want to do. We're going to call it in a fearless fashion. We want our guys to be able to cut loose and play in a fearless way. And then we want to be incredibly physical, not just at the line of scrimmage, but on the perimeter, the way we carry the football. Everything that we do offensively is going to have a physical taste about it. So that's who we're trying to be. That's who we're going to be. And that's what our guys are working toward.
David, go ahead.
Jeff, it's kind of being written about that it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Matt Corral or John Rice Plumlee as the quarterback. But can you talk a little bit about Grant Tisdale, Kincaid Dent, and Kate Renfro, and maybe how they fit into this fall camp and the battle going on?
Yeah, David, all those guys that they have, man, they've done a really good job getting to where we got to today and getting on the field and finally getting some live work. So Kincaid Dent, young guy that's incredibly talented. He's got a great body on him. He's going to be a big, physical, strong kid and a good athlete at the same time. So he's a kid that's incredibly talented. Tisdale, obviously, big-time winning program in high school, comes in. Played a little bit last year, as everybody knows, not a ton, obviously, but a guy that has also worked incredibly hard and done everything we've asked to get him to the point of today. And then Cade's a really talented young true freshman that is trying to figure it out. Kid's got a ton of ability. He's incredibly intelligent. Another winning program in high school that's put him in a good situation where he's at right now. So again, it's about all five of those guys from a competition standpoint, but man, we'll be as good as the weakest guy in the room, and that's the reality of it. So we're trying to push every day for all of them.
Any more questions? No, go ahead, Nick.
Can you just talk us through the options you have on the offensive line right now? Obviously, with Eli opting out last night and a couple of starters to replace, what are you looking at there?
Yeah, today as you look at it, it'll be very, very fluid inside. We'll be moving guys around. There's really a 4 to 5 man rotation inside that we're looking at, and always and forever. Not just sitting here in Oxford right now. It's everybody that's getting started today in this league. You're going to try to find the best 5 to get on the field. And that's our job, of course. So we're going to work through that. It's going to be fluid inside. We feel great about where we're at from a tackle standpoint. Royce and Nick have done an unbelievable job. Athletic guys, tough guys, incredibly dedicated to being great football players, and excited about that. And now we'll piece this thing together inside and go from there.